you say where is it directed to, what would you mean? So God does not judge people, right? Is that what you're saying? And send them away from himself.
So let's go back to your analogy.
Would you agree with that or no?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I said, do you disagree with the fact that God judges people? You would say he doesn't, and cast them into a place called hell in the end, like Revelation 20 would say.
Well, the idea of hell started in the Old Testament. They called it Sheol, right? It was actually a place. It was a valley. It was a place where they were too afraid.
It was a place in Israel, right?
Yeah.
It was a place where they went and they burned things and things of, you know what I mean? They incinerated things.
Right, exactly.
But the idea when the Bible speaks about, because when the Bible speaks about hell, there's something that happens to us when we die. The Bible clearly articulates that those who die without Christ go into a place of torment. It's very clear. I mean, Jesus speaks about hell. He doesn't mean, when he speaks about hell, what is he talking about? And he's making a contrast between a place where people are beloved and welcomed and all the pains and sufferings and hardships are no longer there, contrasting with a horrible place. The Bible speaks about the worm never dying, where it speaks about torment. It speaks about outer darkness. It does not speak eternal fire. You know, I mean, it does not speak of a place that I would want to even think about going. It's a horrible place the way the Bible describes it. So that's all I'm just saying. How else would we not believe that hell is a horrible place? Because there are many terms that are used to describe hell.
So you're starting the conversation over here at hell. I'm saying let's back up.
No, I started with love. I mean, I said we talked about the idea of God being love.
Right. So I'm saying I don't know what that looks like, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I do know is we went to the analogy of you and your daughter, right?
Yep.
Let's say she keeps lying.
I would do what the Bible tells us to do. However I saw most fit in the moment, I would discipline her, right? Whoever.
Right, but your love doesn't change.
No, in a sense, I don't love perfectly like God does. I can't.
Right. So if God's love is greater than ours, how could a God so loving not give your daughter a second chance?
She has many chances in life to receive Christ. Yes. But there are many today who walk the earth who reject Christ and never come to him. Right? There are people who grow up in Christian families, hear about Jesus for years and years and years. There are people who make professions of faith and then years later reject Christ. So is that, I mean, God is not fair, he's just. He always does what's right? In Genesis 18, it says, well, not the God who is just, Abraham was basically saying, well, not God always do what's right? The just God always do what's right. He always does what's right, so I don't worry about justice and fair and things like that, because he'll always meter out what is right and best, because that's the way God is. So I don't have to figure out, what about this person? It wasn't fair. God's not fair. He's just, though. There's a difference between fair and just. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that God is fair. It does say he's just. So that's, you know what I mean? So the idea of second chances.
I appreciate the civil conversation. Honestly, definitely. I've had conversations with some of stereotypical people like this, and you've been the most pleasant.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
So, thanks.
Yeah, I'd be more than willing to talk to you in the future. Okay. Again,
thanks.
Pray for you, and I appreciate, I pray, the only thing, just like you want me to consider some other aspects of God, maybe that you think that I might be a position in, I pray that you'd really consider God's wrath, not because I want anyone to experience it, really. I do not. I wish every person on this street would come to know the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't want them to experience it. That's why I come. That's why I share. But I believe in the wrath of God, so I want to warn them and say, hey, God is manifest. That's what I'm reading from 1 John. God has manifest his love in his Son. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful picture of God's love demonstrated on behalf,
It is a beautiful story.
Yeah, it is a great picture. So I tell the storyline of the Bible is God's kingdom in redemption, right? God's building his kingdom through redemption.
Yeah.
So, right? It's God building a kingdom through the redemptive work of his Son.
Yeah.
So that's how I would phrase the storyline of the Bible. I appreciate it, D. Have a good night, man. God bless you.
You too.